Biomed, Nexus Daily Updates, your essential biotech, medtech, and pharma recap. No noise, just what matters. TLDR Revolution Medicines, RVMD, presented full Phase 3 Resolute 302 data at the ASCO Plenary on Saturday. The detailed results confirmed and expanded the top line. Median, PFS 7, 2 months versus 3, 6 months, HR 0, 49 P0, 001, and median OS 13, 2 months versus 6, 7 months, HR 0, 40 P0, 001 in the ITT population, 500 patients. Results were consistent across the RASG12 population. The data were published simultaneously in the New England Journal of Medicine. The FDA granted expanded access to daraxonrasib. Revolution intends to file an NDA under the CNPV program. Akeso's ivonescimab, PD-1 VEGF bispecific, plus chemotherapy, demonstrated a statistically significant overall survival benefit over PD-1 plus chemotherapy in first-line squamous NSCLC, Harmony 6, OS-HR 0, 66. This is the first China-originated drug selected for the ASCO plenary session in the Society's 61-year history. Summit Therapeutics is the U.S. partner. Johnson & Johnson's J&J Phase 3 Proteus study showed Erleada apalutamide before and after surgery significantly reduced the risk of metastasis or death versus hormone therapy alone in high-risk, localized, or locally advanced prostate cancer. J&J's oncology leadership called it one chance for curing this patient. The study opened the plenary. Your ASCO field guide is live, searchable, filterable, catalyst-aware. Bookmark it, Biomed Nexus, ASCO 2026, Executive Takeaway. Saturday's ASCO plenary delivered 3 datasets that will change how cancer is treated. Revolution's full Resolute 302 data confirmed everything the top line promised and added the missing piece, PFS. At 7, 2 months versus 3, 6 months, HR 0, 49, daraxonrasib doubled progression-free survival in second-line pancreatic cancer, matching the OS doubling. 13, 2 versus 6, 7 months, we reported in April. The results held across both the RASG12 population and the ITT population, which includes patients without identified RAS mutations, meaning the drug works broadly. The simultaneous NEJM publication is the strongest possible scientific endorsement. The FDA's expanded access decision means patients can start receiving daraxonrasib before formal approval. Revolution plans to file under CNPV, truest projected Q3 approval. Meanwhile, Akeso's ivonescimab made history as the first Chinese drug in the ASCO plenary. The OSHR of 0.66 against PD-1 plus chemo in squamous NSCLC is a genuine practice-changing result. If confirmed in global studies, ivonescimab, partnered with Summit Therapeutics in the US, could challenge Keytruda's dominance in lung cancer. And J&J's Proteus data showed that adding Erleada before and after prostate surgery reduced metastasis or death in a 2,000-patient study, addressing what J&J called a 125-year treatment gap. Read, full analysis, what to watch, Revolution. Medicines CNPV filing expected imminently. If CNPV review mirrors the 50-day Foundeo precedent, approval could come by August or September 2026. Daraxonrasib expanded access. Patients with previously treated metastatic PDAC can now access daraxonrasib before formal approval. Watch for uptake data. Ivonescimab US strategy. Summit Therapeutics holds US rights. An FDA filing, based on Chinese data, would face regulatory scrutiny. A US confirmatory trial may be required. The path from ASCO plenary to US approval is not guaranteed. Erleada Proteus. Label, expansion, J&J will seek FDA approval for the perioperative prostate cancer indication. If approved, Erleada expands from advanced metastatic disease into the curative setting. ASCO continues through. Tomorrow, additional data presentations today and tomorrow. Conference closes June 2nd. Top story, Revolution Medicines. confirms practice-changing data in pancreatic cancer, publishes in NEJM RVMDW What Happened. Brian Wolpin, MD, MPH, Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, presented the primary and final analysis of the Phase 3 Resolute 302 trial in a plenary session, LBA5, at ASCO on Saturday, May 31st at 3:21 p.m. CDT. The data were published simultaneously in the New England Journal of Medicine. The full data, 500 patients, data cutoff, February 10, 2026, median follow-up, 5 months. Intent to treat population, daraxonrasib, N248, chemotherapy N252, median OS 13, 2 months was 6, 7 months, HR 040, 95%, CI 0, 30 to 0, 53, P0, 01, 60% reduction in risk of death, median PFS 7, 2 months versus 3, 6 months, HR 0, 49, 95%, CI 0, 38 to 0, 64, P0, 001, 51% reduction in risk of progression or death, RAS G12 population, daraxonrasib, N228, chemotherapy N231, OS HR 0, 40, 60% reduction in risk of death, consistent with ITT, median PFS 7, 3 months versus 3, 5 months, HR 0, 45, 95%, CI 0, 34 to 0, 59, P0, 001, 55% reduction in risk of progression or death. Safety was generally well tolerated with a manageable safety profile and no new safety signals. Regulatory actions. The FDA granted expanded access to daraxonrasib for patients with previously treated metastatic PDAC. Revolution intends to submit an NDA under the CNPV program and to submit data to other global regulatory authorities. Executive impact. The NEJM simultaneous publication is the gold standard for pivotal oncology data. The PFS data, HR 0, 49 in ITT, HR 0, 45 in RAS G12, were the missing piece from the April top-line readout and confirm that daraxonrasib delays disease progression by the same magnitude as it extends survival. The consistency between RAS G12 and ITT populations means patients without identified RAS mutations also benefit, supporting a broad label. With expanded access granted, CNPV filing imminent, and Truist projecting Q3 approval, daraxonrasib is on the fastest path from Phase 3 to market of any oncology drug in recent memory. ASCO Plenary. The other two practice-changing datasets. Ivonescimab makes history as first Chinese drug in ASCO Plenary Summit Therapeutics, SMMT. ASCO 9926. HK. ASCO presented overall survival data from the Phase 3 Harmony 6 trial showing ivonescimab PD-1 VEGF bispecific antibody plus chemotherapy achieved a statistically significant and clinically meaningful OS improvement over tislelizumab PD-1 plus chemotherapy in first-line advanced squamous NSCLC HR 0, 66. Professor Xun Lu, Shanghai Chest Hospital, presented the data. ASCO CEO Dr. Yu Xia said, ivonescimab has successfully challenged PD-1 plus chemotherapy, achieving both clinically meaningful and statistically significant improvements in overall survival and progression-free survival. This is the first time a China-originated investigational oncology drug has been selected for the ASCO Plenary in the Society's 61-year history. Summit Therapeutics holds U.S. rights. J&J's Erleada shifts a 125-year prostate cancer paradigm. J&J Johnson & Johnson presented Phase 3 Proteus results showing Erleada apalutamide given before and after surgery significantly reduced the risk of metastasis or death versus hormone therapy alone in patients with high-risk, localized or locally advanced prostate cancer. The 2,000-patient study opened the plenary session. J&J's U.S. President of Oncology for Solid Tumors, Biljana Naumovic, told Fierce Pharma that the prostatectomy treatment paradigm has been essentially unchanged since the prostatectomy was introduced 125 years ago in 1904. J&J Oncology. VP Mark Wildgus described the perioperative setting as one chance for curing this patient. ASCO 2026 Plenary Scorecard Presentation. Result Impact Revolution. Resolute 302 Pancreatic Cancer. OS HR 040 PFS HR 0. 49 NEJM published practice changing, CNPV filing imminent, expanded access granted. Akeso ivonescimab Harmony 6, squamous NSCLC OS HR0, 66 vs PD1 plus, chemo first China drug in ASCO Plenary, potential Keytruda challenger, J&J Erleada Proteus, prostate cancer. Reduced metastasis, death risk versus hormone therapy 125-year paradigm shift, perioperative label expansion expected. The week ahead, today, tomorrow, ASCO 2026 continues, closes June 4th, Jefferies Global Healthcare Conference, New York, June 2026, Takeda CEO transition, Julie Kim. Late Q2, Lilly Foundeo, T2D filing under CNPV Q3, 2026, Revolution Medicines, daraxonrasib approval projected, Truist. July 1st, Medicare, GLP-1 bridge program launches, RED, full analysis, Biomed Nexus, Pro-Institutional Intelligence Brief, Resolute, 302, the complete picture. The full dataset answers every question the top line left open. PFS confirmed, HR049 in ITT, HR045 in RASG12, daraxonrasib doubled PFS 7.2 vs 3 6 months. This is the data point that was missing from the April readout and is critical for FDA labeling. Broad efficacy confirmed, ITT results, which include patients without identified RAS mutations, were consistent with RASG12 results. This supports a broad label rather than a biomarker-restricted indication. NEJM publication. The simultaneous NEJM publication elevates the data from a conference presentation to a peer-reviewed benchmark. This is rare for ASCO presentations and signals the editors viewed the data as practice-changing. Expanded access. The FDA granted expanded access before formal approval, meaning patients can start receiving daraxonrasib now. This is the strongest possible regulatory signal short of approval itself. What comes next? CNPV NDA filing, expected within weeks. If CNPV mirrors Foundeo, 50 days, approval, August or September 2026. Revolution has 4 Bs in cash. Commercialization infrastructure is being built. Peak sales estimates range from 2B to 4B for pancreatic cancer alone, with NSCLC expansion potentially doubling the opportunity. Ivonescimab, the US path, the Harmony 6, OS data, HR066 are impressive, but the path from ASCO Plenary to US FDA approval is complicated. Chinese-only trial, Harmony 6 enrolled exclusively Chinese patients. The FDA will scrutinize whether results are generalizable to a US global population. 2. Comparator. The control arm was tislelizumab, B1 Medicines, a PD1 inhibitor not widely used in the US. The FDA and US oncologists will want to see ivonescimab versus Keytruda, the US standard of care. 3. Summit Therapeutics, the US partner, is a small company. Commercializing against Merck's Keytruda franchise requires deep commercial infrastructure that Summit currently lacks. 4. Harmony 02, a separate Akeso study, previously showed ivonescimab beat Keytruda in PFS in a different NSCLC population. OS data from Harmony 02, if positive, would strengthen the US case. The bull case, the dual PD-1 VEGF mechanism, genuinely outperforms single-agent PD-1 inhibition, and the data are strong enough for an accelerated FDA pathway. The bear case, the FDA requires a US confirmatory trial, which adds years to the timeline. Proteus. What changes in prostate cancer? The Proteus result addresses a treatment gap that has existed since 1904. Currently, patients with high-risk localized prostate cancer receive surgery, prostatectomy, plus hormone therapy, ADT. No additional systemic therapy is standard of care in this setting. Proteus showed that adding Erleada apalutamide before and after surgery significantly reduced the risk of metastasis or death. In a 2,000-patient study, this is a robust result. If approved, it would be the first systemic treatment change in perioperative prostate cancer in over a century. The commercial implication: Erleada is already a multi-billion-dollar franchise for J&J in advanced prostate cancer. Adding a perioperative indication expands the addressable population to the large number of radical prostatectomies performed annually in the US, representing meaningful incremental revenue. Catalyst calendar, June 2026. Forward date, event, tickers. Today, tomorrow, ASCO 2026 continues, closes June, multiple June. For Jefferies Global Healthcare Conference, New York, multiple June 2026, Takeda. CEO transition, Julie Kim. Imminent revolution. Medicines CNPV NDA filing. Expected RVMD late. Q2 Lilly Foundayo. T2D filing under CNPV LLY Q 2026 revolution. Medicines daraxonrasib approval projected. Truist RVMD July. 1 Medicare, GLP-1 Bridge Program launches. LLY NVO Q3 2026 TIVA Email X. Close expected TIVA July. 31 section. 232 pharma tariffs, effective, large companies. Multiple H2 2026 Merck, ESAC TMT global filing. Expected MRKH2 2026 Foundayo. T2D regulatory action. Expected LLY H2 2026 Lilly Kelonia. Close expected LLY H2 2026 Ajax. Proof of concept data expected LLY 2026 TRIMPH2. Retatrutide T2D. Readout expected LLY late 2026 early 2027 BDG Bio. BBP 418 PDUFA priority review. BBIO Deck 2026 Mineralist Lorundrostat. PDUF Family S 2027 Retatrutide launch. Anticipated BMO Lidex 7 Lilly. Investment Community Meeting LLY. Visit the Pro Hub read. Full article. Limited ASCO week. Sponsorship slots available. May 29th, June Sagan. Reach 65,000 plus professionals during the biggest oncology event of the year. Learn more. Is your company listed in the Biomed Nexus directory? 2,104 companies across 14 categories. Claim or upgrade your listing. Sponsorship slots for 2026 are limited. See packages and pricing. New Biomed Nexus signals. Weekly sales intelligence for life sciences BD teams. Learn more.